prakritim swamavashtabhya visrujami punah punah bhutagramamimam kritsnam avasham prakrutirvashat.
Now, having said that this is what he does, brings forth all the beings at the beginning of a kalpa and puts them back to sleep at the end of a kalpa, destroys them. What is it that brings about this creation and destruction? He explains that in this verse. He says, animating my own prakriti, nature, I generate this multitude of beings again and again, punah punaha. And how is all this taking place? Compelled by Prakriti. So, there is this repeated emanation, repeated birth, repeated death because of Prakriti, vasanas. As long as there is fuel in a car, the car will keep moving. As long as you have vasanas, you will continuously go through this cycle of death, birth and death, punah punaha, again and again. So all of us are like playthings in the hands of nature. Nature, Prakriti, vasanas. You're a puppet, Kataputli. As long as you are operating within the realm of vasanas, you have no choice but to go through this. So don't complain. It's your choice. But you have a choice to stand apart from vasanas. Even while you have the vasanas, don't ride on them. Don't act on them. Stand apart. Act from your buddhi, your wisdom. And you'll get to the state of gunatita, beyond it. Once you opt out of this system, once you opt out of this, you become the puppeteer. And you're no longer a puppet in the hands of nature. And this is what, once this grips you, once you understand the possibility of being the master of the universe and not the slave, then comes this desire to get there, comes this urge and the restlessness to break free from these limitations and get to freedom, moksha. So Prakriti means vasanas, means non-apprehension, means ignorance of your own self. As long as there is Brahman, none of this takes place. Just Atman, Brahman, none of this takes place. But as long as there is Brahman, the very vastness of Brahman, there is the possibility of ignorance, not understanding. It's like, as long as there is this vast body of water, whether it's the ocean or a huge lake, waves appear on the surface. In a glass of water, there are no waves. It's the vastness. And Brahman is much, much more vaster than anything that we comprehend. And so, in some insignificant corner, infinitesimal corner of Brahman, there is a little disturbance taking place, and that is this whole universe. Ignorance. And wherever there is ignorance, there is projection of the waking and the dream state. What kind of world do you find yourself in is your own projection of your own vasanas. And that's what he's saying. Prakriti is the vasana. As long as the non-apprehension is there, the misapprehensions will go on. And you're caught in that cycle. Opt out through this knowledge of yourself, not knowledge of the Gita, not knowledge of the Upanishads, but just knowledge of yourself. Break free from this ignorance, and you'll be out of this cycle of birth and death. So you have to develop this affinity for infinity. Next verse.